Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started today. Today's webinar is on SEO strategies, specifically generating organic website traffic, what types of tools are needed to do so, what types of features you need incorporated into your website, as well as IDX property search, and then, of course, a strategy to put in place to help generate some organic website traffic to your real estate website. So, my name is Grant Worthen. I'm the sales team lead. I'll be doing this presentation today. Jake Bentz is also on this webinar. Jake will be answering questions, so if you have any questions, please feel free to type those questions in the questions box, and Jake will answer them as he sees fit. And then if any of the questions today go unanswered, we will get back to you in an email with an answer to your question. So as I mentioned, today's webinar is on organic website traffic. Essentially, we're going to kind of take a look at, what is it, how do you increase it, what types of strategies do you need in place, and what types of tools do you need to be using to generate organic website traffic. So first off, what is organic website traffic and how do you increase it? Just real briefly, organic website traffic is traffic that is driven to your website through search results such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And then SEO, standing for Search Engine Optimization, is the process of optimizing your website to generate organic website traffic through such mediums as hyperlocal content creation, indexable IDX pages, blogging, some others to name a few, social media tools, Google Places, etc. So really it's any types of tools that you can use on the internet to drive and point traffic, new traffic, back to your website without essentially paying for that traffic. So over on the right-hand side, I just got a little screenshot of search results in Google, and showing how you can go and type in something and you can get ranked on Google, in position 1, 2, 3. That's really what organic traffic is. So. First off, let's just go over some of the tools needed to generate organic website traffic. We're going to go over, just at a high level, website, what type of a website you need, what types of features you need to have incorporated into that website, and then what types of website strategy you need to put in place to generate organic website traffic. And then, of course, taking a look at the property search and what types of property searches you should be using and what types of things you should be looking for in a property search to help with your organic website traffic strategy. So starting with a website, let's first be clear that there's a lot of different options out there for websites these days. You really need a custom website to generate organic website traffic. A lot of the companies out there that provide the template sites, your Z57s, top producers, #1 experts, etc., they do a great job providing an online business card type of a site, but they don't have a lot of the tools in place that are needed to generate organic website traffic in the search engine. Those tools being the ability to create content on a regular basis, the ability to blog and really write about the specific neighborhoods and the subdivisions in your area that you service, and the ability to control SEO features such as content, meta tags, descriptions, and titles of your content, as well as what are called sitemaps. And we'll get into sitemaps a little bit more later. But really, in the search engine optimization world, content is king, and it always will be king. So you need to make sure that you have a good website, a good foundation in place to generate unique, relevant content on a regular basis so that you can increase your rank relevance and authority with the search engine. Just a little side note here, you'll see I have their WordPress is a great option. WordPress you can build a WordPress site these days for relatively inexpensive. It's got all of the above options built into it, the ability to manage your content, the ability to blog, to control SEO features, and sitemaps automatically built into it. So if some of the things that we go over today don't make a whole lot of sense to you and you're wondering, do I have this or don't I have this? Well, WordPress might be a great option for you because it is integrated into most WordPress sites on the get-go. So first off, the ability to create content. What I have here is just a little screenshot of a real estate agent locally in the Minneapolis area, and just what you're seeing here is she's able to write content on the specific areas she services. So on the right-hand side of this screenshot, you'll see search by area. Those are the cities in her particular real estate market that she services. And you'll see in the middle of the screenshot, Eden Prairie, and she's got some content that she's written on Eden Prairie. And so what I'm showing here now is a screenshot of impressions made on the impressions made by the search engine on the actual content that was searched. So you can see this real estate agent's website is generating a lot of impressions on the content that she's writing on a regular basis. She's getting about 40,000 impressions made through the search engines through the content she's writing. I mean, we'll get into content and hyper-localized content a little bit more later. The ability to blog, kind of the second piece that every real estate agent needs built into their websites these days, is really a way to engage with the consumer. You know, write about what's going on in the industry, write about the neighborhoods that that you service, for example. And this is a great way to, again, generate new, unique, relevant content on a regular basis that keeps your website fresh, keeps providing the search engines updated content, and keeps, in turn, generating repeat traffic, getting consumers to come back to your site, and helping generate those impressions in the search engines that I talked about on the last slide. Another great way to keep your website fresh, and really just remember that, you know, keeping your website fresh and keeping that updated content on a regular basis is really helping you in the search engines. Another way to do this is to bring your blog, have a blog feed on the home page of your website. So what you've got here is the first image, the first screenshot I have is of the blog, but the second screenshot that's overlaying it shows that this agent actually has a news feed or a blog feed on their home page. And what that does is it allows her to blog about content and feed that content to the home page, thereby notifying Google, notifying Bing, notifying Yahoo that content on her site has changed, the home page has changed, and telling Google to come back and re-index her website. Another really important piece is, so again, content is king, but you need to make sure you have the tools in place to both notify the search engines that you've created that content, as well as tell the search engines what the content is about. So you need to have the ability to control SEO on your website. Again, most WordPress websites are going to have this, as well as most custom websites. But you'll see here I've got the first screenshot here is of the specific area that the real estate agent has written about. Maybe she's writing about Richfield. Well, you need to have a section where not only you can write about Richfield, but you can control the title of the post, the description of the post, and the keywords of the post. And this is what Google sees when they see that new content. So again, you want to control content titles, content descriptions, content meta tags, image alt text, image descriptions, and the URL. And you'll notice here in the first screenshot, I'm able to control the URL of the actual page I'm creating with my website with that unique, new, and relevant content. Now what I have here is I'm showing this page, or I'm showing a page of new content associated with this website in the search engines. You'll see that Google shows us the title, the URL, and the description. This page down here, or this piece of the website that allows you to control that, is what shows up in Google. So it's really important that you have control over your title, your URL, and your description on all of the pages of content that you're creating, because if you don't, you're really not benefiting your website, and you're really not telling Google what that content's about. So the final piece that you need with your website, and again, this is going to be built into a WordPress website. A lot of other custom websites will have it too, but your template websites typically won't, are sitemaps. And essentially what a sitemap is it's a map that incorporates a list of pages that are associated with your website. This list shows Google the URL location of all of your website pages. And again, most custom websites generate this sitemap automatically. Many template websites do not have this sitemap at all. So how do I know if my site has a sitemap? Well, typically what you can do is you can use this structure here. If you go to www.whatever your site website address is .com/sitemap.xml, it should pull up a sitemap. And I'll show you here in a second, I'll show you what the sitemap looks like. And then what you're going to want to do, so essentially Google will look at these sitemaps and it will index the pages associated with that website through the sitemap. And then what you can also do is you can go to Google and you can search how many indexed pages you have in the search engines. So first I'll show you the sitemap. And if I click on this live website sitemap demo, we'll do it in Firefox. So again, the structure is all Minneapolis, or your website, /sitemap.xml. And there we go. There's our map of all of the pages associated with this website. And what this map actually does is it tells Google, this is what tells Google how often the page is changing, as well as the last change of each page. So this is really your map that tells Google how often your site is updating. So it's really important to have a sitemap if you're going to be trying to generate organic SEO. Now another thing we can do as well is we can check our indexed pages. So if we go back to Google and we type in site:/all-minneapolis-homes.com, and again, I'm just doing this for a site that I'm demoing today, you're going to see that this site has about 215,000 pages associated with it. Now these are not only pages that this realtor has created with blog content, but these are also, which I'll get into later, listing details pages of properties. So you can see that this website is also, it has a fully indexable property search, which again is a very important piece of generating organic website traffic to your website. And I'll go over that a little bit more later on. Okay, so on to website strategy. Once you know that you have the appropriate functions and website in place, so you have the ability to create content, the ability to blog, the ability to generate those automated sitemaps, and the ability to control your SEO, titles, descriptions, and keywords, then you need to put a strategy in place. Just a little overview on what I'm going to go over as far as strategy goes. So I'm going to go over what's called the hub and spoke model. I'm going to go over backlinks, page rank, page creation and content curation, blogging. So first off, to start with the hub and spoke model, the way you want to think about your internet technologies and the way you optimize your website is think of your website as the hub. And right here it's titled blog. And all of your social media, all of your other channels that you use as the spokes. And all of those social media channels, your Twitter, your Facebook, your Active Rain, you know, any type of agent ranking site, those should all be pointing all of your website traffic back to your website, okay? And so that's the hub and spoke model. Your website is the epicenter, and you want all of your spokes, your social media tools, other blog sites pointing back to your primary website where you generate your real estate business. Okay, so here we go. We've got the website itself. We've got our Facebook profile, our Twitter, our rankings on agents, and they're all pointing back to the website itself. Okay, moving on now. Backlinks. Again, this has a lot to do with the hub and spoke model. Every site you have that's pointing back to your website is a backlink, okay? Think of backlinks as ways to give your website credit for organic SEO. Every site has what's called authority. Every website, every social media channel, every blog site has authority, okay? Think of your site as having, say, 1,000 points of authority. And maybe another real estate agent's website has, 500 points of authority. If the other agent's website points to yours, he's essentially giving you some of his authority. So his authority might go down to 400, where yours goes up to 1,100. That's what happens through backlinks, okay? So how do I increase my backlinks? A couple different ways. Guest blogging. Guest blogging is a great way to increase your backlinks. So for example, when I go over to this website, reach out to a local mortgage broker. Here's an example of a guest blog post where this specific realtor's website we're showing you today, the All Minneapolis Homes, is creating content for this mortgage broker site. And you'll see here when I hover over this link, it's backlinking, and it's actually going back to her real estate website. So essentially what is happening here is this mortgage site is telling Google, hey, this real estate website has authority. Send traffic to this site. So that's what backlinks are. Guest blogging is a great way to create backlinks. Social media tools, again, if you're following that hub and spoke model, folks, all of these different social media tools are pointing back to your website. That's a backlink. They're lending authority and credit back to your site. And then another great way is commenting on other blogs. Real estate agents, they like engaging with people. It's great. Go and comment on another real estate agent's blog. An example of that is, we'll go to the All Minneapolis Homes site, and I can show you here. So here's a blog article that this real estate agent has written, and you'll see that someone's come into the blog article, and down here they've got the ability to leave a reply. Name, mail, website address, here's the key, and then your reply or your comment. You'll see here, here's the response that was left, and when I hover over this little hyperlink right here, that backlink is going to this agent's website. So it's a great way to go on a real estate agent's website, contribute some content for them with a link back or a backlink to your site, lending your site some credit. How do I check how many backlinks my site has? Okay, so there's a couple free tools to do that. Backlinkwatch.com is a great tool. Write this down, folks. Backlinkwatch.com. What you can do is you can go down here, and if we skip over all the advertisements, you can go down here and you can add in a website address. We'll do it for All Minneapolis Homes again. Just click enter or check backlinks, and it will actually pull up, and it takes a little while to generate this, but it will actually pull up the total number of backlinks. So we can see there's 107 total. And if we give it time, it will actually show us the different websites that are linking back to our real estate website or our hub in the hub and spoke model. So the more backlinks you create, the more websites that are pointing to yours, the higher your what is called page rank is, and the better your SEO, your organic search engine placement, is going to be. And that brings us into page rank. So what is page rank? Well, every website has a page rank of 1 to 10. This is a ranking that Google gives your website as to how authoritative it is. The higher your page ranks means the higher the authority within the search engine. So how do I build my page rank? Great question. By increasing your authority. So again, content is king. Create content. New, unique, relevant content on a regular basis. That's going to increase your authority, which increases your page rank. And then backlinks. We're back to backlinks again. Sites linking to yours are saying that your site is more authoritative, which will increase your website's page rank. The higher the page rank, the higher the authority your website is. A website, here's a local website in our area that has a really high page rank. Typically 4s and 5s are pretty high. It's very rare to see anything above 5s. Your sites like Bing, Google, Finance, those will be up in the 8s, 9s, and 10s. But for real estate sites, 4s and 5s are pretty high. Here I have an example, edinarealty.com, they're a 4 out of 10. How do I check my website's page rank? Great question. I have a neat little tool here called PageRankChecker.info. And if we click on PageRankChecker.info, and again, if we get through the ads, we can go in here and we can type in a website address, edinarealty.com, and we can actually see that website's page rank. And I think I added an extra /, which is why it did not work. Let's try this again. edinarealty.com, check the page rank. And once it loads, you'll see that edinarealty.com has a Google page rank 4 out of 10. Okay? Let's do that. Let's try that one more time with a site that's not quite as authoritative, but is slowly building its page rank. And folks, page rank takes time to build. TheAllMinneapolisHomes.com. So it's a page rank 1 out of 10. Okay, so it does have some authority. It does have some page rank. And again, this takes some time. Google updates the page rank of your site about once every 6 months. So it's great to start contributing content, creating backlinks, and increasing your page rank now. Okay, so on to website strategy, blogging. Okay, folks, have you ever gone to Google and you've Googled your new listing address, and Zillow or Trulia has come up #1 in the rankings? Yeah, I think we all have. Okay, blogging is a great way to beat out Trulia and Zillow for #1 on the rankings. Now, of course, you not only need to be doing your blogging, but you need to be controlling that SEO, the title, the tags, the URL, and the description. But it's a great way to beat Zillow and Trulia out. If we go to Google, for example, and I go and Google an address that agent had listed, 4206 Wooddale Avenue, St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Folks, you're going to see here the very first result is the allminneapolishomes.com website. If we scroll down, here's our Trulia and here's our Zillow. Okay, again, if you're using blogging, if you're using WordPress, and you're creating content with your listings on a regular basis, you will beat out the big players. You'll see here if I click into it, it'll just simply go into the blog page of the allminneapolishomes.com site with photos of the property and some simple listing details on the property. So blogging is a great website strategy to put in place. Do it on a regular basis. And you don't just need to blog about your own listings. You can blog about, specific neighborhoods. You can blog about, what's going on, with sports. I mean, it's not only a way to generate website traffic, but it's a way to keep your consumers engaged in your website and coming back. Unique, relevant content. Let's talk about relevant content. Let's talk about the content that you're creating for your website, okay? If you say you're in Minneapolis, like the site I've been demoing today, and this might be hard to read here, but if I Google Minneapolis real estate, you'll see that there's about 83.7 million results relating to Minneapolis real estate, okay? It's going to be hard to get your site to the first page of Google because you're really competing with a lot of smart people out there. So what you should do is don't target don't target something like Minneapolis. Target a neighborhood, okay? A neighborhood in Minneapolis like Linden Hills real estate. Now we're down to 1.34 million listings, okay? So we've gone to 83 million to 1.34 pages on Google. A lot easier to work with. But then if we get down to even further down to like a community, like Minnetonka Vista real estate, for example, we're down to just 5,200 results. And you'll see, and it might be hard to read, that this agent is targeting the communities, and this agent is able to rank on the very first page of Google for a community page. So write about neighborhoods, write about communities, write about other local content. And if we go to Google again, for example, if I go to Google and I Google Minneapolis real estate, now I think the All Minneapolis Home site is somewhere on page 5. Yeah, here it is. So it's on page 5. I mean, it's in the top 50 results out of 57 million, which that's really good. If you can get to the top, in the top 5 pages, that's great for a term like Minneapolis or like the main city you locate. But let's take, for example, again, one of those communities or one of those neighborhoods. A common lake here, lake homes, is Lake Calhoun. So let's do Lake Calhoun homes for sale. Now you're going to see that our search results are down to 187,000. And here we go. Here's the allminneapolishomes.com site as the second result on Google. So again, target your content, to hyper-localized communities and neighborhood pages. So on to the property search now. So we've gone through the website. We've gone through what you need on the website. We've gone through your strategy with your website, creating content, blogging, creating neighborhood pages. Now let's look at the property search piece, okay? First off, ask yourself, can Google see your IDX solution? There's a number of different ways to do that. One is an indexable listing solution, which we at WolfNet build into all of our websites and can provide as an add-on service. The second is a WordPress plugin, which we also provide here as an IDX implementation option. And then you want to also pay attention to the URL structure of your IDX vendor's property search solution, as well as sitemaps again. So sitemaps, if you remember, they're essentially the map of all of the pages associated with your website. A property search can have a sitemap too, and it can incorporate and show Google all of the IDX listing details of the properties in the MLS and show Google that those exist on your domain. So first of all, can Google see your IDX solution? When I showed you earlier, when we typed into Google site:allminneapolishomes.com, we got 215,000 results. These are both pages of content as well as IDX listings, okay? So here we go. I Googled site:allminneapolishomes.com. You can see there's 215,000 results. You've got listings from within the IDX property search solution being indexed here, okay? Try this with your website. Type in site: and then your website address.com with no spaces, and see if you get any results of properties or listings in your MLS. If you don't, that's a good indication that your property search cannot be seen by Google. This can be done. You can notify Google, or Google can see your property search in one of two ways, either by a sitemap or through a WordPress plugin, and I'll get into that in a little bit here. So first off, the WordPress plugin, okay? A WordPress plugin, what it does is it allows the consumer, or it allows you, the realtor, to actually, you write about that city or that hyper-localized content about that community, and you're able through the WordPress plugin, maybe it's your WolfNet WordPress plugin, to actually bring in listings within that community right into the website. Now, pay attention to the URL structure up here as well. Right now we're on the allminneapolishomes.com site, okay? Make sure that your IDX vendor is not pushing you over to their servers or changing the URL. So all of this content that you can see here on these listings, the addresses, the price ranges, the cities, this is dynamic, new, unique, relevant content that is being generated on your website about listings and that Google is seeing, okay? So if you have a WordPress plugin through WolfNet, Google can actually see that these addresses and these listings are sitting on your website. Why is that important? Well, take, for example, you have a consumer driving down the road, and that consumer sees a house for sale, and they really like that house. They're not going to go down and write down the MLS number. They're going to write down the address. And what do? They go to Google, and they Google the address. They literally are using Google as a search as a search mechanism for real estate these days. If you don't have an indexable property search solution, if those addresses aren't lying within your website like they are here, your site has there's no potential for your site to come up in the search engine, so you're out of luck. So the first is the WordPress plugin. It's fully indexable. Listings are integrated onto your domain, and listings can be found in the search engines. SEO optimized for your website. Now I'll go over to the allminneapolishomes.com site and show you how this WordPress plugin functions. So again, you'll see that we're on the allminneapolishomes.com domain. We're controlling the URL, so it's optimized for the search engines. You'll see it says Burnsville-Real-Estate. And then here's our listings coming in via the WordPress plugin. Burnsville homes for $250,000, Burnsville homes for $200,000, and Burnsville homes for $150,000. Now, just as a side note, there are also a lot of other functions that come with our WordPress plugin that I'm not going to go over today. We have a WordPress plugin webinar that I encourage you to watch, and our webinars can be found at wolfnet.com/webinars. But here's one example. A quick search can be brought into your website, which is part of the WolfNet WordPress plugin as well. Now, when we go into the listing details of the property from the WordPress plugin, so if I click on this listing, Notice the URL. We're still on the allminneapolishomes.com website. That's an important piece that you need to keep and be aware of. So the second property search is a fully indexable property search done by sitemaps. Now, I'm not going to demo this because it actually takes quite a while to load a sitemap with 50,000 listings in it. But what we do here at WolfNet is we can actually create a fully indexable property search using sitemaps, SEO-friendly URLs, again, on the domain name of your site, and we submit those to the search engine. It's a great way to take a property search on a website from 50 index pages to 50,000 index pages real fast. Property search URL structure. The last thing I want you to pay attention to make sure that your property search is optimized for the search engines is the URL structure, the title in place, the property, and the property description. So here you'll see that you've got the title for the IDX listing, and you'll see we have the address, the city, the state, the zip code, and the MLS number incorporated into it. You've got that friendly URL, the search engine friendly URL, so it's on your domain name, and the description. So we've actually got a description of the property. Make sure your IDX provider is providing you with these services. We have, again, we have a couple different options to set you up with if you're not taking advantage of these with your current provider. The final thing I wanted to go over a little bit, just real briefly, was that we do here build WordPress SEO optimized websites. We have WordPress plugins that we sell. We have fully indexable IDX searches as well as VOW property search solutions. Thank you for your time today. That concludes our webinar on SEO strategies. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us. You can email me directly at grant@wolfnet.com, or you can email solutions@wolfnet.com as well. Thank you for joining us today. Again, our webinars can be found at wolfnet.com/webinars, and we'll talk to you soon.